Explanation, in all honesty, makes about as much sense to me as the idea of a right to travel. So I might just be very direct with you. So your additional explanation makes even less sense than your initial explanation. So, did you get your questions answered from the bailiffs earlier, Mr. Andrews?
No, sir. I came. The form that I had last time I was here said that I was coming for today for a jury selection.
You did. You sure?
Something similar to that.
Okay, well, let me pull it up and we'll see. I'm looking at it. That's not what it says. Just put it up on the wall and review it together. How about that?
Okay, I can take your word for it. But
no, that's all right. I got it up here.
November the 6th was supposed to be jury.
Is that your name?
Yes, sir.
And is that your signature there?
Yes, sir.
These are your initials?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's your address and phone number?
Yes, sir.
It says you were supposed to appear for calendar call on October 23rd, 2023 at 9 a.m. And for record purposes, today is October 23rd. The time is now 12:15. It says your trial week for jury and bench trials will be the week of November 6th, 2023 at 9 a.m. So am I correct in saying that this did tell you that your trial week was the week of November 6th?
Right. Trial week.
Today is calendar call.
It was calendar call. Actually, it is, Your Honor.
Okay, well, is it fair for me to say that calendar call is not the same as trial?
No, I was expecting to pick a jury to go through the deliberation of trying to see who's going to be on the jury. That's what I thought today was.
Okay, well, you were mistaken. The whole reason I called that other one the trial week was because that's when trials occur. The whole reason this is called counter call is to show that it's not trials, it's counter call. It's a totally different thing on a totally different date. So, how in God's great green earth did a 2019 case end up on this calendar? I'm just realizing I need to find out the answer to that question.
The answer to that is I went back to my home in Ohio, and when I came back down here, the Jackson police gave me a felonious ticket. It gave me a ticket. I feel like they gave me a ticket, and they saw I had a warrant for a Griffin.
And I lifted that warrant?
No, I don't know about lifting it. You made it so I had to come back to court months ago. I came back. I don't remember the actual date. But I came back in here about 5 months ago and asked for a jury trial.
Oh, you're the reason I changed the system. This is you. You made me change my system.
What system?
I was like, this is the case. This is the case that like made me wail and gnash my teeth. You should be in jail. And let me tell you why you should be in jail. I issued a warrant for you in 2019. You got to be free with no witnesses being called to court and me not being able to try your case for 4 years. 4 years. And the fact is that you found a loophole unintentionally in my system where you got to come bebopping in 4 years later and demand a jury trial. And because your case was a citation, the system that I created allowed the jail to immediately release you and set you for a court date. And when I realized that this happened, I was so frustrated with myself that I let you do this to this court. Because I don't think it's fair to the state that you got to have 4 years free, bebopping around, and now that they have to go find witnesses from 4 years ago. I would not be happy if it was the opposite of this. I would not let the state do that to you. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, it was
I would never let the state of Georgia drag you around for 4 years and then make you find witnesses after 4 years. And so I completely retooled our system, and I said, if anybody else does what Antonio Andrews does, hold them in the jail. Until I see them. So anybody now under my system whose bench warrant is older than 1 year is automatically converted to hold without bond. So if you're catching that I don't have much patience with you today, that's because I'm very frustrated with you and we don't even know each other because you absolutely found a loophole in my system that I didn't even know existed. And that I had to stop and retool my system over. So, no, today's not your jury call. Today's your calendar call. I'm sorry that you got confused about that. But that's your confusion, not mine. I think my forms properly identified what this date was for you and that what you needed to expect. You will reappear here. I'm going to have you sign your jury trial form. What are the charges? Do you have any questions for me?
All right, for one, are you going to let me self-represent myself because the public defender said he couldn't represent me?
Do you want to represent yourself?
If that's the only choice I have.
No, I'm asking. That's not the question I asked you. Do you want to represent yourself? Yes or no?
I don't, but I will because, like I said, you said this has been 4 years ago, and for those 4 years I've been studying the thing that I was the driver's license part. I've been studying what the Constitution has to say about that and what Georgia law says about it, and Ohio.
So you spent your 4 years on the run getting ready for this jury trial.
I wasn't on a run. I wasn't running.
You had a bench warrant.
Yeah.
You were running.
I wasn't hiding. If they'd have got me, I came on down here and served my time. But I wasn't.
Nah, you and I are about to get really crossways.
That's not crossways.
Do not start to tell me that my bench warrant was not something you should have paid attention to. You fled the jurisdiction of this court for 4 years.
Yes.
For 4 years, my bench warrant was trying to get you to the jail.
Correct.
So don't tell me that you weren't running. You were running because my warrant was chasing you. But luckily for you, you left the state and they weren't going to pick you up out there and send you back to here. And so you got to have 4 years of a free ride. Okay? So don't come in here and tell me that you were available to this court because I could not call your case for trial because you were running from my bench warrant. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Let's get that part crystal clear. I need to ask you this question again. Are you willing to represent yourself at your trial?
If any of the attorneys that I've asked to represent me will, I'll accept it. But I've been told and sit right outside the door last time I was here that they won't take my case. So.
And you've applied with the public defender's office and you were denied.
That's who denied me. You told me to go out there and speak with him, and face to face right there, he told me that he would not be willing to take my case.
Okay.
Which was
where do you work?
I'm a disabled veteran.
Why in the world have you not secured an attorney in the 4 years that you've been on the run?
In 4 years, I've been to court for driving no license before, and I paid $3,500 to Ryan and Ryan. They would not speak anything about right to travel or anything pertaining to.
Oh, we're not going to have to discuss that, are we? Are we really going to have to talk about the right to travel?
I was hoping.
Goodness. Fine. No wonder they're not representing people. Okay, so you should know I'm not going to have a lot of patience with that right to travel gobbledygook in this courtroom. I may let you talk about it. I haven't decided yet to the jury, but you should know that I'm not going to have any patience with it myself. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Only thing I'm going to be stating is Supreme Court cases that deal with driving.
Okay.
And also the handbook for which driving was made, the Department of Motor Vehicles handbook. I'm going to be using that also.
Well, we need to circle back to the key question here, which is what other efforts did you take to get an attorney before this moment?
Out of all the attorneys that I've tried to get to take this case, none will take it.
Who did you talk to?
Ryan, and public defenders.
That's the only two people you've talked to since.
It was about 4 of them. Four different people.
You named 2. So is it 2 or is it 4?
There was multiple public defenders and one here, and Ryan.
And who is Ryan? I'm not familiar.
They're the most prestigious attorneys in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. This is a Georgia case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you didn't talk to a Georgia lawyer about a Georgia case, or do they have Georgia lawyers in Dayton, Ohio?
No, I talked to a Georgia lawyer, and I called several on the phone. I don't remember which one I called.
Who practiced at Ryan?
No.
That was my question. Does Ryan have licensed attorneys?
Let me start.
I'm asking my question. Okay? You're going to answer it, and then you can ask me a question, and I'll answer it. But we're not going to talk over each other.
Yes, sir.
Only one person's going to run this courtroom, and it is going to be you.
That's not me.
No. we're not going to have any problem with that, because I assure you I will not let you. My question to you was very direct. You said you spoke to Ryan. It is my job to figure out what efforts you did to get an attorney. I asked you who you spoke with, and you said Ryan. Then you said they're in Dayton, Ohio. And my question for you is very specific. Does Ryan have Georgia attorneys who are licensed in the state of Georgia to practice here?
But they do, but that's not that the Ryan was right before I came down here. I came down here in January, and I had spoke with them before I came down here. But when I got down here, I called a couple of attorneys out of my phone, and I spoke with your public defender here.
Who are the couple of attorneys that you called?
I'm not sure who was called, sir.
I'm asking these questions because they're important. Do you want to think about it at all, or you want to just give me that answer?
That's the only answer I have, sir.
Okay. Anything else you want me to know about your history with getting an attorney?
No.
Okay. So then my question for you comes back to the first question I asked you, which is, do you want to represent yourself or not?
If I can have an attorney, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Because I don't know the ins and outs of courts. Like, just you seen that with the form I just filled, the form I had filled out. But I would want one that's going to actually fight for my win versus my, just plea bargain me over to the prosecutor. I wouldn't want that part. Okay. He's actually going to fight for me, like I'm going to fight for myself. I would love to have an attorney.
Okay. I'm going to note that I have asked you many questions about your efforts to get an attorney between February 14th of 2019 and today. Your answer is that you spoke with an out-of-state law office. You did not provide me with any attorneys of that practice who practiced here. Therefore, that was a null. It didn't matter to me because talking to a law firm that doesn't practice here is not helpful in getting an attorney that would represent you here. You also had one conference with the public defender's office where they decided that you did not qualify for representation. I asked you who you spoke with. When you said you spoke with quote unquote other attorneys, you were unable to provide those attorneys' names, and therefore I'm going to rule that I don't know who they are, and therefore I can't determine that you've made diligent efforts. I'm also going to find that this case was under bench warrant, and as I've already stated, this case, the fact that you got back out and you got to be on the run for this long was caused me to change my complete system. So I am not denying you the right to hire your own attorney. You may hire your own attorney the morning of trial. That's your call. But for me here, the short answer is I'm denying your right to apply with the public defender's office because I'm going to find that you have let's see exactly how many days you had to do it. I want that to be on the record. So, do you have any questions for me?
If I can't get an attorney to represent me, can I represent myself?
Yes. So that's the other thing I want to make certain that you are aware of is that you do have the right to represent yourself. And I will expect you to try your case one way or the other, either representing yourself or bringing in an attorney. All right, so I just put it in that your ticket was issued to you on February 14th of 2019. Today is October 23rd, 2023. You have had 1,712 days to secure an attorney, and you have not done so. And I find that another continuance will be highly unlikely to resolve this issue with an attorney. Now, if you go and hire an attorney between today and when your trial is, you're going to be back for November 6th. It's a trial week, so we'll get to it during that week. But if you do hire an attorney, you make certain to be very clear with them that Judge Thacker will not be granting any continuances on this case. Whoever you hire better walk in here Monday morning ready to try this case. Because there's a lot of attorneys who will say, yeah, you can hire me and I'll get into continuance. You make certain to tell them no, there won't be no continuances. Whatever they come in, they better be ready for trial. All right, so I'm going to grab this verdict form. Looks like you have 3 charges. I'm going to have you sign it, and off we go. Any questions for me?
in the jury selection, if I represent myself, will I be able to pick my own jury or pick?
You will pick the jury in the same way that we pick all juries, in that you will be allowed 3 strikes out of 12. And so of the 12 people, you get 3 strikes, the state gets 3 strikes, and then the 6th left standing will be your jury. I just want to say, when you say you want to pick your own jury, I want to make certain you understood that you do not get to pick your own jury. You will pick it, you will deselect 3 jurors. The state will deselect 3 jurors. Is this a jury trial or a bench trial? You want jury trial? Sorry, you said jury trial. All right, I usually put on here, when someone is representing themselves, that you are waiving the right to an attorney, but since you are not waiving that right, and I have determined that you have waived that right by your actions, I'm removing that language from it, but you will not be able to address that issue with the jury. Do you understand that?
Your Honor, if the public defender said that he couldn't represent me, did he put a reason in there why, other than the right to travel?
I'm just relating what you said. You said you applied and they declined you. I have a funny feeling they didn't decline you just because of that. But frankly, if you, because your reasoning doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, when you told me to go out there and speak with him, I went and spoke with him. And standing outside the door, he said, "I can't represent you because he want to work in the state of Georgia again. And if he win this case, apparently he don't think he's going to work in the state of Georgia. So that's the only reason that I could think of that he would have to say I wasn't eligible because my income is low."
Well, your explanation, in all honesty, makes about as much sense to me as the idea of a right to travel. So if I might just be very direct with you. So your additional explanation makes even less sense than your initial explanation. So again, you can still hire your own attorney. You know what? I don't have the paperwork I need. You need to go sit in the gallery. I need something else from the state before I can